What's up, guys? It's me, Jared Flash Gordon. I'm here in Manchester, England, and I'm going to do a breakdown of the main card of UFC 304, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Let's get right into it. The first fight of the night is Giga Chaz versus Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is ranked number 4 in the featherweight division. I still think he's the dark horse of the division. Super talented. Coming off of 2 losses, though. So this is kind of like make or break for him. Arnold is great everywhere. He's a great striker, and he's a really, really good grappler. The key for this fight is for Allen to push the pace, get in Giga's face, because Giga wants space. He's super flashy, great kicks, great strikes, and he definitely wants to keep it standing. I think he needs a finish here. It's really hard to finish Arnold, though. Super tough, super durable. I think he needs to have a flawless performance in order to get the W, so I'm leaning towards Arnold. Next up, we got Gregory Rodriguez, also known as RoboCop, versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Gregory's my teammate, and if you watch his fights, you would think he's a striker, but his ground game, his grappling, I think is the superior trait that he has. I think Christian knows that he has to keep it standing, but I just don't think he has the tools to defend the takedowns and the strikes, all while dealing with the pressure that Gregory's going to bring. I might be a little biased, but I'm leaning towards Gregory to take this one. I think he's going to have a great victory, and he has more UFC experience, so that also goes a really, really long way. Third fight of the night, the fight that I'm looking forward to watching the most, is Paddy the Baddy Pimblett versus Bobby King Green, or King Green. You know, this fight here is something that I'll be watching closely. I think it's, you know, up to each guy to really go out there, put the gas on the pedal, and get going first. You know, Bobby, hands down, really slick, but it takes a minute for him to catch a rhythm. And when he does catch a rhythm, he tends to really take the fights into his own hands and starts breaking his opponents down. I think Paddy's got to go out there, get in his face right away also, and win those first 2 rounds. I think if he can win the first 2 rounds, then he'll win a decision or possibly even finish Bobby. Like I said before, Bobby takes a little while to get going, but if he catches a rhythm, those last 2 rounds, you know, could really be stolen. And the way he makes the fights, they get bloody. It turns, I don't want to say it turns into a brawl because Bobby is slick. So I think it's up to each guy to really go in there and set the pace immediately and show the judges and the fans that they're in control of this fight. I'm leaning towards Paddy because, once again, we're here in Manchester, home field advantage. And if it goes to a decision and the fight is close, I think that they'll hand him the victory. You know, Bobby has to really put a stamp on this one, seal the deal, and win definitively in order to get the victory. Co-main fight of the night is Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall. This is another fight that it's up to, you know, each guy to go in there and set the pace right away. It's like kind of like a classic grappler versus striker fight. You know, I think Tom is going to look to keep it standing, defensive wrestling, and land his fast, vicious strikes, which we have seen before, takes his opponents out. Tom is coming off a huge win off of Sergey Pavlovich. And as we saw in that fight, man, all it takes is 1 shot from Tom. Curtis has to go out there and initiate the grappling as soon as possible. If he can get a takedown early, I think it will really take the steam out of Tom. It will make Tom not want to overcommit, so that will make him more gun-shy to throw big strikes. So, like I said before, it's up to each guy to go out there and, you know, initiate the first strikes, the first takedown sequences. And in this fight, I'm leaning towards Curtis, only because his grappling is by far the best wrestling and ground game in the heavyweight division. I think when he gets on top, Tom will have a really, really hard time getting back to his feet. And we know that Curtis is great on top. His elbows, his ground and pound is vicious. And I think he could really take the steam out of Tom's sails by landing vicious strikes, burning out his arms. And then if Tom gets up, you know, the takedown threat is always going to be there for Curtis. And we know that he can initiate the wrestling over and over and get the takedown over and over. So I'm leaning towards Curtis on this one. Tom is the interim champion. We are in his hometown. So another fight where Curtis has to go out there and put a stamp on it and, you know, make it definitive for him to get the victory. And you guys know what time it is. Title fight, main event, Leon Edwards versus my close friend Belal Muhammad. This fight is huge for both sides. Leon has to defend his belt. He's at home in his home country, and Belal is holding the world of the Muslim community on his shoulders. Palestine, everything that they're going through right now. There's a lot of people looking at Belal to make a statement and get a really big W so that they can have a person to look up to. And, you know, for Palestine, for them to be able to have an athlete like Belal as a champion in the UFC would just be, you know, monumental for them. So, obviously, I'm going for Belal to get the win. Yes, he is one of my best friends, but I also think that he has all the tools to get the W. For Belal, he's going to have to cook Leon, you know, like a pressure cooker. First round's going to be tough. Second round's going to be tough. But the third, fourth, and fifth rounds is where I believe Belal will shine. His pressure, his striking is so underrated. And as we all know, his wrestling is super, super high level. He can hold guys down. He could take them down over and over again. His style is, I think, a nightmare for Leon. Leon has done well with Kamaru and, you know, other grapplers, but I just don't think that Kamaru and some of these other guys were at their peak when they were fighting Leon. Belal is at his peak right now, and he's the best fighter he's ever been. So I'm going for a fourth round TKO, Belal Muhammad and new. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you at the fights. Let me know in the comments what you think your predictions are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you there.